Hey, what's up, folks? How's it going? Okay, as far as I can see, we have 15 people on. I'm just gonna wait a couple of minutes until more people come on. Okay, then I'm gonna start talking about what I wanted to talk about. Thank you. Happy birthday. Yes, thank you. Thank you. I'm 36 years old now. Yeah. I feel old as fuck. Okay, let's see. All right. Let's see. Happy birthday, happy birthday, happy birthday. Thank you, thank you, thank you. Happy birthday, Frank. I hope you have a great one. Shakur, Joseph, you sent me an email about not being able to get on Magic Mentor. Does that mean you signed up but you didn't get the lessons? Is that what you sent me? Or did I not understand that correctly? All right. Marlene S., happy birthday. I am a new subscriber. Go, welcome. So many happy birthdays. Well, thanks, everybody. You know, I actually don't really care that much about birthdays. Yeah, because even when you look at horoscopes, it's the energies are determined by other cycles than this solar return, right? But yeah, appreciate it. I guess it's tradition. Dragon Sub says 36 and handsome. Appreciate that. Yeah. Something that I heard from a friend today, a girl. Okay. Well, today I had some hot chocolate, and I went to Starbucks to get that. And guess who I met there? A female friend of mine. And we got to talk. She had a coffee. I had a cup of hot chocolate. And we were very close like this. You know, we were talking. And after 40 minutes, she mentions, you know, oh, by the way, I just had Corona. I just had Corona. Yeah. Well, she said she's recovered. And I asked her for symptoms. And she said, well, she's not in a risk group. Okay. She's 30 now. And she said that she started to feel weak, and then she lost her sense of smell and her sense of taste. Okay. And that went on for like 10 days. She felt horrible, and after that, it was gone. She felt better. Your magic's too strong for COVID. Yeah. I heard 1 year less to live from a friend of mine. On my birthday, good laugh. That's funny. You should have said, I'm lucky. You're lucky I'm a magician. Well, magicians get sick too. 36 people. You going to Hollywood again? Yeah, when they open the fucking border. But my country right now doesn't allow me to go to the US. I can't go there for my protection because the US is handling COVID very, very badly. So the German government does not allow their citizens to go to the States. You know, I'm a German citizen, and it's closed down. The border's closed. Meaning, planes don't even go. Planes don't even go there. It was just a time delay, I suppose, but I'm on it now. I'm enjoying it more with each lesson. Thank you so much. Awesome. Okay. Happy birthday. Okay, thanks. Thank you. Thank you, guys. Okay, here's what we're going to do. Hold on. Is this going to be a Q&A later on after you talk about your magical systems or your magical system? Don't want to take too much of your time on your birthday. It would be great if this live was long. Yeah, exactly. That's what we're going to do. I'm just going to talk about this magical system. I'm going to give you an overview, and you can post your questions now. Okay, I'm going to take those questions absolutely, and ask your questions. Yeah. Anyways, okay, let's talk about the announcement that I made today. I talked about bringing out a new magical system. Okay, and step by step, I'm gonna reveal that completely. Okay, but let me give you an overview. Okay, so when you look at the application of knowledge, when you look at the application of knowledge, what determines the effectiveness of the activity is the model that you use. Okay, so the model of reality that you use will determine how well you can apply the knowledge to reality. Okay, does that make sense? Let's say you have a plan of taking over a country. Okay, and you have the wrong map. You're gonna do a bad job taking over that country, right? Because you don't even know what territory you're working with, right? So what you need is an accurate map. The more accurate it is, the better you're going to do. Okay, so when we look at the occult as it is taught, or has been taught for the longest time, it has been taught with inaccurate maps. Okay, any magical system, please understand this, any magical system, whether it's the Kabbalah, and you can name any other system. Okay? Any other system is just a reality map. When we look at, let's say, the tree of life, the tree of life is meant to be a map of the spiritual universe, and it is also a map of the human soul in some way or another. Okay, so as you work through the tree of life, you're working through different states of consciousness and explore different parts of your own psyche. Okay, and at the same time, you're exploring different parts of the spiritual universe. But that's just a map. And anyone who deeply worked through the Kabbalah and the Tree of Life will agree that it is a very rigid map. Okay, it's a very rigid map. The psychology and the spectrum of emotions, the spectrum of density of energies and all of that stuff, okay, is way more fluid than what they give you in the Tree of Life and the Kabbalah in general. Okay, but it is the production or the creation of a bunch of people that came together, and over generations, of course, as well. But they created the system which is meant to be used by the magician. Okay, and the same applies to any other. So this is the third millennium. This is the 21st century. Okay, and who says that magic can't evolve? It should. Okay, It should. It has to. And things or arts, an art evolves by thinking differently about it, okay? By using different maps, all right? So this is what I have created. I've created a different map, a superior map than all of those, okay? And by the way, how do you come up with a superior map? See, when you struggle with conflicting beliefs, okay, and we all do that from time to time. We don't know what to believe. We don't know what is right, what is wrong. You know, I mean, you can see that with, a lot of people ask me questions about the current presidential elections and all that. I'm not going to go into that. I don't want to talk about politics at all. Okay. But a lot of people struggle with that because they hear one thing from that side, they hear something else from that side. Okay. For a lot of you, it might sound ridiculous that people can't really decide who they're for, but that aside, but some people are genuinely struggling because they don't know. Some people say this, some people say that. What is true? What is actually true? Well, I'll tell you what, if you have conflicting beliefs in your life and in your mind, what you need to do is you need to find a truth that is above all of those and can cover all of them at the same time. Okay? Does it make sense? You got to go a level higher. And from a higher level, when you can look at both of those and they have space in your worldview, this is when you have found a higher truth. And this is when you can reconciliate conflicting beliefs. Okay? And life and the game of growth spiritually as well as mentally, psychologically, whatever. The game of growing up, okay, is all about that. You're going to be confronted with a reality. You have a certain viewpoint of that reality, and you will find conflicting things, things that don't make sense. Why are things the way they are here? Why is that person saying this, and why is another person saying something else? And why is there strife and conflict between those? Well, see, it is always as within, so without. So nothing in the outside world and in your universe happens completely independent of you, all right? Your living reality is an extension of your own mind in some way or another. So these conflicts that you see in the outside world, that you experience in the outside world, are a wake-up call from your higher self, the universe, whatever you want to call that, to reconcile those things within yourself. And when you do that, when you start living your life like that, you will see that these conflicts in your life will begin to disappear. Okay? So that's just a side note. So the way to create a superior system, and by the way, what I'm teaching you here, you can take into any other part of your life. Okay? Because the fundamental condition is always the same, no matter what you do. You have a certain point of view, a vista. You go out into the world, you experience things that create conflict within you. Okay? That conflict is not being created necessarily. It is just, this is the next level of growth that you have to go through. You see? What the world presents to you, what the universe presents to you as you go through your life, as you have your living experience, is what you need to confront right now. Okay? Well, you don't have to, but you should. Most people will not do that, of course. They be turned into hypocrites. They, lie to themselves and ignore things, whatever. But if you want to grow, you have to confront these things in the outside world and understand that those are reflections of the conflicts that exist within yourself. And then you have to go a level higher to a viewpoint where you can see both of those and they make sense in a bigger worldview. Okay? Now, what is necessary or what is required for you to go to this higher level and to seek this higher worldview? It is a change of your self-concept. Okay? So your self-concept needs to change. It has to grow, it has to expand so that you can take on this higher perspective. Okay? So that is how you get there. Oh, let's make it more concrete here. Let's talk about what I have done here. Okay, I have studied for 23 years, studied, applied, worked with many different systems, and a lot of those are conflicting. You know, it's very hard to reconcile a belief system of a Kabbalist with a Buddhist, or a Satanist with okay, what would be the complete opposite of that? Well, a yogi and a Satanist or something like that. Okay, these are conflicting worldviews in a lot of ways. Okay, so the key is I've exposed myself to so many of these systems, so many of their spirits, and to so many different energies that I had to just grow to a level where I could reconcile all of those. You see, so what I've created is a superior map. Okay, and that superior map allows you access to any and every system that exists. Any and every spirit, any and every hierarchy will be unlocked with the keys that I found. Okay, so you could say that this superior map is kind of like spiritual high tech. Okay, it's mental, spiritual, psychological high tech that allows you to cut through all the bullshit, all the confusion, you might say, and get you straight to the point. It's kind of like a hack, okay, or a universal key, right? So that's what I've created. So my magical system is based on very few foundational what's that, beliefs. Okay, I'm not good. People that will work my system do not have to believe in very few things. They will be proven these things very quickly. Okay, there are just a few assumptions that you have to have, which is this: it is as within, so without. So the actual experience that you will have in the outside world is a reflection of what's going on inside of you. Okay. The second one is the change of your state of consciousness will allow you to change your experience, and therefore it will allow you to change the external world. And a third one is that when you find conflicting experiences or conflicting opinions, conflicting any form of conflict, to overcome that conflict, to overcome that problem, which is just another word for conflict, is to find a superior map from where you can approach that problem. Okay, so these three things put into practice in a magical way, which I'm going to have to show you in later stages. Okay, these 3 points practically applied to your witchcraft will allow you to access any system like this right away. Okay, what is it going to do for you practically? Well, see, if you were to work through, let's say, the tree of death, okay, the Cliff-Off and whatnot, before the system that I've created, it would take you a long time. It would take you a very long time to attune yourself to each and every shell, to commune with each archdemon, to bring that energy into you, to integrate that energy so you can move on to the next one, right? And through that, you can master the Cliff-Othic energies. All right. Now, with this system or with this approach, this can happen within a couple hours, no problem. Okay, not months, not years, within a couple of hours. Why? Because there's an underlying current, underlying truth, you see, that runs through through all systems. Okay, it is running through all systems, but it isn't a part of any system. It is the underlying or overlapping truth, and with that, you can conquer and dominate any system. Any spirit has to bow to that. Okay, any spirit can be dominated with that, and any spirit can be brought under your control. Well, in my order, I already taught a couple of those secret keys. There's this secret mantra that can bring any spirit under your control very quickly. Okay, but it goes deeper than that. So this is essentially the system, and I'm not going to reveal much more than that. But it's not a system like all the others where I'm going to give you a bunch of spirits and hierarchy. You know, there's, let's say, God on top, and there's the other side, and they all have like different spirits below them. I don't know. And by the way, all the systems that work like that are more or less all descended from, you know, Zoroastrianism. But that's not the point. The point is, with this system that I've created, you can unlock and access any system very, very quickly. Okay, not even chaos magic was able to do what I've done. Okay, so get ready, step by step by step. This thing is going to be released. Just keep following, just keep learning, and you're going to get that system. So this is all I'm willing to say about it right now. If you have any questions, maybe I can go into more depth with it, but that's it for now. Let's see. Does that mean you've achieved a gnosis of the universal truth about this reality, or does it mean that we basically create our own realities? The first one, the first part that you said. Okay. Because you go to higher frequencies, up, yes, exactly. Dreamery says genius, whatever. Okay. Thank you for that compliment, but I don't even care. It's a little weird to call yourself a genius, I think. Well, even though it's probably true. Many people say that, but I'd like to have other people say that. You know, it's better than me saying that. Happy 36th birthday, Frank. I really like the sound of your new system. Okay, would human animal sacrifice be one of those unnecessary aspects of magical systems? Well, first of all, I don't know anyone who practices that, at least the first part of it, and it is definitely unnecessary. I am 24 and a beginner on a magical journey in your magic mentor class. How are we going to be able to join this system? You don't join the system. It's something that I'm going to teach step by step. Okay, how are you planning to teach it to people? Would there be a class for it? Well, look, I'm probably going to have to write a book on it where everything is kind of like condensed in one place and one thing that you can look up. But see, one problem, or not problem, but one program that I'm launching in November is this. Okay, first of all, for those of you who are a magic mentor, what I'm going to have to do first is I'm going to have to release all the lessons that are not released yet. Okay, I gave you a little bit of time to work on the lessons that are unlocked so far. What's going to happen next is I'm going to fill up all the lessons that have not been unlocked yet, so you can get up to speed. And then I'm going to launch a program where I'm going to, on a weekly basis, cast spells for you. Okay, so that program is probably going to happen on Zoom. You can sign up for it, and yes, you will be charged to be there, but you can basically, there will be a Facebook group where you can make a request on what ritual you want me to do. Okay, I'm going to then do that ritual. You can do it alongside with me. Of course, you're going to get a recording too, and this is how you will learn how to actually cast spells. Okay, so let's say you have a problem. I don't know. Let's say you tell me, I need a job or something like that. I need a new job. I need more money, whatever. Okay, and I then create a ritual for that purpose. Okay, so you can do it alongside with me. I tell you everything that's going on, everything that you should do as you're doing the ritual, and this is going to teach you the system. But more than that, see, the system allows you to cut through everything. See, what people are struggling with is the confusion, man. If you get into the occult, if you get into magic, the first thing that you're going to experience is you're going to be overwhelmed. Why? Because like there's so much to learn. Like, how does that work? How does where does this fit? Where does that fit? You see? So people are confused, they're overwhelmed. What my system allows you is to cut through all the bullshit. You see? I said this on a different live where I was talking about, or somebody asked about books. And I said that people read too much, but they don't understand enough. Okay. A book is something that you use. It's not something that you consume. What does that mean? You need a concrete goal. I have this as the goal, and then I go and seek out the information that gets me closer to that goal, and that will be a specific book. And in that book, a lot of parts of that book might not even help me get closer to that goal. So it might be one chapter. It might be one chapter that I read, and then I apply what I learned in that chapter right away. You don't consume information, you use information, hopefully. Because if you don't do that and you have the hope of reading every single book that was ever written on this planet, or I mean that must be your approach then, right? I mean, if you just consume information for the sake of consuming it, for the sake of being able to say that you read a book, I don't know if that's an efficient use of your time. You see, so what you're also going for is not necessarily knowledge. You're going for wisdom, and a wisdom is being able to tell truth from a lie. Okay. I know I'm not that old, 36 years old, but I've acquired some wisdom in my life. Okay. And what I can tell you is I'm much wiser than I used to be when I was 20 years old, 25, even 30. I'm wiser now. And what does that mean? I know what I'm not supposed to do. I know the general direction of what actions to take and what not to take. So, see, when we talk about success and when we talk about reaching your goals, the best definition of success is avoiding the opposite of success. Avoiding failure is success in and of itself. Avoiding failure is success, you see? Right? So wisdom gives you the ability to tell what actions will cause you failure and what actions will move you into the direction of success, you see? So this is what you should go for. And this is what all of your study and all of your learning should actually aim for. Wisdom, orientational wisdom. You want orientation, you see, not details. Not details. Okay. I made a video recently about this, okay, about how to, how to know if somebody actually knows what they're talking about or not. Okay. So take that approach in your life. Trust me, you're going to do much better. You're going to grow much faster and you're going to progress into whatever you want much faster. Okay. So wisdom. Did I answer your question? I don't even know what was asked. The point is, my system allows you to do that. It's basically cutting through all the bullshit. It's the North Star amongst the magical systems out there. What is this? Okay. Feliz cumpleaños. Thank you. My Spanish. Okay. Never mind. Happy birthday, Frank. I hope your apprentice learns a lot of things. Yeah, she's still in a testing phase. I'll pick one, but still a testing phase. Yeah, so we'll see. I told her I'm going to test for a month to see how she's doing, and that's it, I don't know yet. She's probably on right now too, right? Right. Yeah. Okay. Would human? Never mind. What's this? So true. Aurelius Sopex on the real deal is the real deal. So many one-on-one level, and that is all they got. Frank has revealed and awakened lessons I learned from interactions of those who wrote books over fireside chats. And so I'm grateful for the truth that he shares. Tough love, the only way, truth against the world and the weak. Okay, thank you. How would I go about incorporating someone's cigarette butt in my domination spell? Oh, okay, that's easy. Well, it's got their DNA on it, which is an excellent psychic link. And then you just connect to the person through their spit, essentially, right? And you use that to influence them. It's a direct communication line to the person, to their energy field. You see, I recently read of some experiment that they did. I think they took the saliva of a person and I don't know, they put it in a test tube in some way or another, right? They put it in a test tube and they were checking how the DNA was behaving. Okay, were there any changes in the DNA? And we're looking at the DNA now. The person, which was the source of the DNA, was taken into another room, and then they did some experiments on that person. Okay, which means they just induced some pain in that individual. Okay, through I don't know electric shocks or whatever. Now, as the person was experiencing the pain, the DNA was reacting. It was changing in some way or another. Now, the DNA out of the saliva, which is no longer connected to the person physically, saw the same changes. Was going through the same changes as the person. Okay, so there's a non-physical, a non-local connection between the DNA that the person carries and the DNA in the saliva. Okay, so you can use the same mechanism for your spells. The cigarette butt has spit on it, which includes saliva, DNA. And that's why that is a direct connection to the person that you want to influence with your spell. You see what I mean? So all you got to do is you just got to open that as a gateway to that other person. That's it. What would happen if you put an alchemy transmutation sigil on your aura? You're gonna attract some energies, and then you're gonna have to deal with them. I mean, just because you carry a symbol on you, it doesn't mean that you know how to deal with the energy. See, so with alchemy, you're gonna probably look. Imagine a bottle of water, okay, bottle of water, and there's dirt at the bottom. Okay, there's dirt at the bottom. And that dirt would represent psychological issues, trauma, things that you haven't dealt with in your psyche yet, whatever. And then you bring this symbol, into your life. You bring that energy into your life, and it's going to do this. If it's an alchemy, an internally transformative symbol, it's going to stir up the dirt. And boom, you're going to hit a depression. Boom, you're going to hit this because the dirt is coming up. You see, it's not that the symbol, the alchemical symbol, is bringing that into your life. It's just bringing these things up that you have not been dealing with. You see, so that's what's going to happen. All right. So what's going on here? Hey Frank, what's the difference between a shaman and a sorcerer, wizard, warlock? Okay, a shaman is a specific, it's a healer, and he's a connection between the spirit world as well as the physical world, okay? And when we talk about shamans, we always talk about, it's a cultural context, more or less, okay? So in certain cultural contexts, a sorcerer is called a shaman. You know, wizards, whatever. Look, I mean, sorcerers, a lot of people would say that sorcerer is kind of like, what's the word? They shun a sorcerer because a sorcerer is focused on brujeria, which is like casting spells. You know, they actually want to make things happen with their magic. Okay, a lot of people that call themselves magicians, they're too airy fairy. They're too much removed from any practical work. You know, they're too much into philosophical speculations, and that's what they call in their magic. They're all about theory, you know. And if somebody actually gets their hands dirty, they want to look down on that for some reason. These are all just terms. The question is, do you get things done? Can you get shit done? You see, that's what I care about. I am all of that. I'm a shaman. I'm a wizard. I'm a sorcerer. I'm a magician. At the end of the day, these are titles. You see, it's kind of like a black belt in karate, okay, or even jujitsu or any martial art. You know, they walk around. I'm a black belt. I'm a black belt. I'm a black belt. And I am from this lineage. I have this tradition behind me. Blah blah blah. Okay, and then they face somebody, and it's an actual fight without rules, and they get fucked up. Okay, so see, when people carry their tradition in front of them like this, like a black belt or whatever, that's ego. You see, that's ego, and they want the respect for that. But you only, in my world, you only get respect for the things that you can actually do, for the results that you get. That's what you get respect for in my world. Okay, so I don't care about the rest. Fuck them all. Okay, fuck them. If anyone's on here who is very very traditional and whatever, say fuck you. Okay. I challenge everybody. I challenge the whole fucking world. I don't care. Anyone. Come fuck with me. Come fuck with me. And see what you can do to me. Nothing. I'm dealing with some fucking Haitians and they're from France right now. Okay. And they're bad, man. They're tough guys, okay? Tough, really, really heavy bokors and whatever. Okay, they're. Why did I even have trouble with them? Well, because I had to do something to help somebody that got in trouble. Okay. And that person was asking for help. So I'm dealing with those people right now, okay? And look, I'm not terrified of anyone. I'm not scared of anything or anyone. If I can deal with those guys, I can deal with a Wiccan or Satanist or whatever these guys call themselves any day. So it's practice. I'll just practice. Even though the other day I had a spirit here in my house actually, and it woke me up, and I saw it out of the corner of my eye walking around, but then it disappeared. So I probably, you know, I am getting attacked right now, but this is practice. So what's going on here? Okay. Hey Frank, did you experience the dark night of the soul? If yes, what happened, and how did you get out from it? Okay. Well, look, man. There's not just one dark night of the soul. The dark night of the soul is something that happens continuously. The dark night of the soul, for those of you who don't know what that is, it's basically just a fun. It's an existential crisis. Okay, it's an existential crisis that you go through right before you reach a new level of power. Now, see, I don't know what you learned from me or what you studied from me, but my teachings, or one of the most important parts of my teaching, is that your level of consciousness determines what you're able to do in magic. Okay, and any new level of power requires your consciousness to grow to a new level. Okay, so you go through a dark night of the soul as the old self kind of like decays and dies. Okay, so it is basically a renewal, like the serpent. You see that, like the serpent sheds old skin. You have to go through a psychological shedding of old stuff. Emotional, energetically, many things. It's like a cleansing, and the old self needs to go, and with that comes a deep sadness. Yeah, sadness, and a crisis, a meaninglessness, because all your old goals, patterns of behavior, were connected to to the old self concept. So you have to put yourself together again. It's kind of like loving or like losing a loved one. Let's say you're in a partnership, you're married or whatever, or in a very deep relationship, and you decided that you want to live that life or your life with that person. Okay, that means that a lot of your goals, a lot of your world becomes connected to that individual. You see, so if that person becomes affected, you become affected in some way or another. Okay, or if let's say that person dies, that means that a big part of your world dies. Okay, and that's not easy to handle. And I believe that's the biggest part of the grieving process. Okay, so you have to put yourself together in a new way. See, you literally have to put the pieces back together. And in the same way, the dark night of the soul is really that. You have to put yourself back together to become the new person that you need to be. Okay. And this is also, when you a book that I really recommend. I know I don't recommend a lot of books, but one book that I really recommend is the Book of the Samurai. Hagakure, the Book of the Samurai. So like the meditation on your own, like mortality and all that stuff is very good. Because that forces you every day to put yourself together in a new way, to figure out your orientation every single day, which is very important. Happy birthday, Frank. I keep having sexual dreams about a particular person I'm not even thinking about. Is it most likely me, or is the person doing something? I keep having sexual dreams about a particular person I'm not even thinking about. I don't know if that makes sense. You're having sexual dreams about a person you're not even thinking about? Or are you telling me that you're not attracted to that person? Okay, well, I keep having sexual dreams about a particular person I'm not even thinking about. Is it most likely me, or is the person doing something? Well, I don't know. Maybe. That's way too broad. How am I supposed to answer that? How am I supposed to answer that? Maybe you're secretly like that chick. Maybe you secretly want to suck her and lick her and have her sit on your face, and maybe secretly you want to put everything you got into her. Who knows? Or maybe she's putting a spell on you. I don't know. Both of those scenarios sound reasonable to me. It happens. It happens. It happens. Sometimes you're just uncomfortable with you being attracted to somebody. But that happens, right? It does happen. You really don't want it, but for some reason your dick says something else. Your penis. Maybe it's the hormones or whatever. Maybe she's ovulating. Whatever. Mhm. Yeah. All right. Happy birthday, young man. Love it. Spoken like a true Libra. Just practice. Enjoy the rest of your morning. Thanks. Aurelius Sobax is the magical equalizer. The magical equalizer. Yeah. Thanks. I take that as a compliment. Thank you. Appreciate that. And so many questions. I like that you're posting so many questions, guys. Just give me 1 second because I gotta figure. I gotta filter them. So all those people giving their DNA for ancestor or CBD testing, they could all be manipulated under that scenario trickery. Yeah, theoretically, but I don't think that's what's going on. Look, I mean, look, the media is itself a magical tool. You know, the media is a tool to influence the environment. Listen, I mean, those that determine reality determine everything, right? You have a couple of psychic centers, that's what, or psychic, not centers, but like openings to the outside world. You got eyes and then ears, and most people are blind to the spirit world where you can actually get truth, right? But most people can't access the knowingness of the spirit world, so they are dependent on the ears, the eyes, and the sensory perception. Okay, and look, if you want to control people these days, at least on a mass level, you use social media. You know, you definitely use social media. That's how you do it. Okay. So, see, the imagination is a tricky thing. Here's the thing. It's very, very hard to imagine things that you have never had any experience with. Let me give you an example. Let's say I ask you to imagine ice cream. If you were to actually do that and put together the image and the sensations of some ice cream in front of you, here's what would happen. You would go back into your memory and you would pull up like images of ice cream that you've seen before. It takes practice to be able to create images from nothing. That's actually very, very hard to do, you see. Now, with practice, you get better at that, and that's also what's necessary to get to higher levels of magic. But most people can't do that because they have not practiced their imagination, you see. So when it comes to imagination, they're dependent on being fed things from the outside world. So understand what power it is to control the media. You see, you determine the meaning of words. So you determine what the boundaries of people's internal reality is. Holy fuck. Can you like understand, really, really understand what I'm saying here? This is incredible. By controlling the meaning of language, you control what the boundaries of people's internal reality is. You determine the scope of what they're able to think and understand and comprehend. Number two, you control the images. So you control what people can imagine. Okay? And those two things put together, which is basically the media, you control people's reality. Okay? And we, as people, we are organized in a way where we organize ourselves based on ideas, you see. We're mental beings. We're less physical than mental. Okay? That's why a person, you can tell a person, hey, listen, go fight that war for me, because in the afterlife you will be rewarded for it. Try doing that with a dog. Try doing that with a dog or any other animal. Tell them that they have to do this now, so they will be benefiting from it in the afterlife. That's nuts. That's a crazy concept. We are capable of doing something like that, and this is actually how society is structured and controlled. Okay. Okay. So you don't need to collect people's saliva to control them. You also don't need a microchipping, which is not going to happen. That's ridiculous. Why do you need microchipping? You know, things like that, which is what people say Bill Gates is trying to do. That's ridiculous. Why would you do that? You know, if you want people to take a vaccine, just tell them that they can't travel anywhere anymore. You know, they can't get on the subway anymore. They can't get on a plane anymore. They can't get on this and that. You know, a lot of people are like, no, I'm not going to take the vaccine. Wait until they can't get into a stadium anymore because they didn't get vaccinated. Okay, nobody forced them. They tell them, okay, no problem, you don't take the vaccine, but you can't get into a stadium anymore. You can't get in here. No, you can't travel anymore. Oh, you got a house in Spain? Well, sorry, tough break. You're not going to get into Spain anymore. It's that easy. Why would that happen? You see. Besides that, people live in their own cosmos. Okay, people live in their own cosmos. I mean, let's take people that believe in the QAnon bullshit, for instance. Okay, it's literally the reality tunnel, and they all feed into each other. It's literally all not true. It's literally it's the most ridiculous stuff you ever heard about. But they actually kind of like, there's so, and nothing else hits that. Nothing else hits their reality tunnel anymore, because they operate in an environment where everybody feeds into that, and social media allows that. If you are dealing with social media, you literally don't have to listen to any other viewpoint anymore, which is foolish, because if you're so confident in your own truth, why can't you deal with somebody else's opinion? Doesn't mean you have to argue with them. It doesn't mean they have to try to convince them. But what you should do always, okay, that's another tip. Always, always, always listen to your enemies. Always listen to your enemies. You have to. You want to listen to your enemies more than you want to listen to your friends. Okay? Let's say you go to war. Let's say you're country A and you're at war with country B. And your country C is your ally. Okay? Whose communication would you try to spy on? Right? You listen to your enemy. You want to know everything about your enemy. You want to know everything about your enemy. Okay? By the way, a lot of stuff that I'm teaching you is based on military strategy. Okay? You just don't see it. You just don't see it. A lot of stuff that I'm teaching in witchcraft and in any like basically life is based on military strategy. Why do I do that? Because warfare, first of all, I'm a martial artist. Okay, and as a martial artist, you should study martial strategy, or military strategy. And secondly, it was a life or death thing for millennia, for thousands of years. So strategy, military strategy, is a field that is so refined and so good, okay? Because literally your survival depends on it, okay? So things that you might learn in business in terms of strategy are a joke for the most part. They're a joke. Why? Because business strategy is maybe has been a field that you can take serious ever since 1850 or something like that. Yeah, somewhere around the Industrial Revolution. But military strategy is thousands of years old, thousands of years. Okay, and literally people's life depended on it. They had to get good at it. Okay, so if you want to get good at strategy, if you want to get good at life, you have to study the art of war. You have to study military strategy, in my opinion. Okay, so and you don't do that in order to fight. You don't do that because you like conflict, see, but in order to create peace within yourself and within another person, or within interactions with other people. You have to understand conflict. You have to understand how conflict is created and how to overcome it. Okay, this is the concept of fighting without fighting, or winning without fighting. But how do you win a fight without fighting? Well, you see the fight developing and you move into a direction where the fight's not even going to happen because you could see it a mile away. Like when you are somewhere, are you aware of your environment? Are you aware what could be used as a weapon against you? Let's say you walk into a cafe. Are you aware what could be used there? Are you aware who's in there, who is posing a threat? Do you see what they're carrying with them? Like, do you see that when you walk into a room? Are you aware of that? Situational awareness, you see? And the same applied to any other situation. When I say who they are, it means, are you aware of their... Can you guys still hear me? Because it says my connection is good. Oh, anyways, okay. Are you aware of that person's resources? Are you aware of that person's strategy? Are you aware of who they're talking to behind your back? You have to know all of these things, you see? So what I'm saying is basically this, bottom line, okay? You better study military strategy if you want to get good at life in general, okay? Yeah. And not because you enjoy conflict, not because you want conflict, not because you want battles. It's because the nature of life, to a large extent, is conflict, okay? It is what it is. It's everywhere, okay? There are, I don't know how many bacteria, viruses on your body, any side of your body right now that are trying to kill you, right? And so that's just the nature of life. And if you want to avoid conflict or the study of conflict, you're avoiding life. And that's not a good way to deal with things. And the paradoxical thing is, the more you do that, the less you will have conflict in your life, because you can see them a mile away. You can see what could happen, and then you just move out of the way. Okay, Sun Tzu. Okay, the art of the war. The art of war. He said that. The greatest battle or the greatest victory is a war that you have to never fight. Okay. What is this? All right. So all those people giving their deal. Okay, I got this. Happy birthday, Sensei. Thank you. Do you think or feel as if this is the end of times? Here's what I'm going to tell you, my friend. Next to military strategy, I also study history. Okay. Why do I do that? Well, because I like to have the edge. Because I look for wisdom. You see? I look for wisdom. I don't look for knowledge. And another field where you will find a lot of wisdom is history. Okay. Because look, this traditional view that we have in let's say since the ancient Greeks. Okay. There's a traditional view where time is this one directional arrow, okay? And the more you move towards the future, the more you will have progress. This is actually a wrong view of things. It's not how time actually works. Time works in cycles. Okay. So certain cycles bring certain qualities of energy to the forefront. Okay. And when you look at history from that point of view, you will discover patterns. Okay. Was it Churchill? I think Churchill said that the further you can look into the future, no, sorry. He said the further you can look into the past, the better you're going to be able to predict the future. Okay. All right. So here's the thing. Whenever you have times where things change very, very quickly, okay? Whenever you have times when there is wealth, but wealth very, very much concentrated in a few hands, okay? And the majority sees that, okay? And if you have basically the loss of confidence in like if the society has lost its belief in a bigger idea, okay, that makes them sacrifice for the greater whole. Whenever you find this, you will have these crazy things, like crazy end time prophecies come up, okay? End time prophecies, which is happening right now. People think that the world is about to end. Oh, there's never been a time like this before. This is not true. There have been many times like this before. And it's the end times, and it's the final battle between good and evil and all this other bullshit. None of this is happening, man. It's just that a lot of people are very confused. Okay. The bigger picture that's actually going on right now is that geopolitical power is shifting somewhere else. It's moving away. Okay. And with that, wealth is shifting. Wealth is also moving into other areas. And a lot of people are not equipped to deal with this new time. Okay. A lot of people are just not capable of dealing with what's coming up. They're not capable of dealing with what's happening right now. And they're definitely not going to be able to deal with what's going to happen in the future, in the next 10 years. Did you know that about 40% of all jobs are going to be obsolete in the next 10 years due to automation? Okay. And who are they going to blame? Well, of course, they're going to blame somebody. Okay. What you can see right now in terms of conspiracy theories is that's an old theme. People eating children. That's kind of like what they used on the Jews too. And when they were in the Third Reich, they were when they were trying to. The boogeyman were the Jews. Right now we got other boogeymen. So this stuff is just repeating itself over and over and over again. Okay. And no, I don't believe we live in end times. I believe we live in a dangerous time. But I also believe that most people are clueless about what's actually going on. And I think a lot of people know what's going on, and those are preparing and they're positioning themselves in the right way. But most people are not doing that. Most people are looking for somebody to blame. It's not going to work. So, no end time's coming. The world's still going to be here in 10 years, 20 years. The question is, where are you going to be in 10 years? Right? The question is, where are you going to be? Can a spirit make you vomit? Yes, absolutely. 100%. How to do a sigil for my future self, higher self? How to go about it? Usual letter drawing sigil, words like my future self. Well, yeah. Or you describe your future self and create a sigil based on that description. Happy birthday, young man. Yeah, okay. How did you react to the first spell attempted to be put on you? First spell attempted to be put on me. Oh, yeah. Fuck. Dude, the first spell that I'm aware of that was put on me put me through hell for about a month. I was going through fucking hell, man. I'm telling you. I was already studying the occult, but I had this friend in in the States you would call that high school. I was a 15, 16, I don't know, right around that age. I was already studying the occult and all that, but he was a friend actually. He was a friend of mine. And he was like into goth. He was a goth, a good friend of mine, and he dealt with some Satanists and whatever, right? He was dealing with them, and for some reason, this piece of shit got together with his friends, with his whole fucking coven or whatever that was, and they kept putting curses on me, and through it, I mean, the entire month was just fucking horrible, man. I had problems eating, problems sleeping. I lost so much weight. It's not a good time, man. I was going through a bad phase, and it took a lot to release that. Well, how did I finally get over it? Well, with the help of some spirits, and this guy has gotten what he's deserved ever since. Okay, but yeah, it was not good. It was a bad time. You interact with so many various powerful entities. Is it true, or has it been your experience that angels, devils, dragons, and fae all hang or get along, and it is just humanity that divides? No, no. What is your opinion on star seeds? Honestly, don't know what you mean with that. Star seeds, no clue. Um, Happy birthday, 100%, Frank. That's some real talk. Sounds like a well-trained martial artist. Thanks. Hi, Frank. Glad to see this live video. A little late, but made it here. Happy birthday to you. Thank you. Appreciate it. 36 years old. Young. Maybe I should start lying about my age, man. Like 36 sounds fucking old. Never mind. Okay. It's better to be a warrior in war than to be gardener in war, I guess. Yeah, I guess so. Yeah. Happy birthday, sir. May you live even more 100 years so that people can benefit from you as a person and through your teachings. Forever grateful to find you through Rail of the Serpent. Be happy. Thank you. Appreciate that. Can depression be cured with meditation, or does it just temporarily sustain it? Once again, totally depends on you. Depends on your situation. Depends on what's causing the depression. Practicing different mudras of air, water, fire, and earth helps you to increase the effectiveness of a spell. Not necessarily. It helps you just bring that energy into you. In what is going on in the world, you said there's negative forces feeding on 99% of Earth's population. Does your gnosis confirm remote viewers' theories on Earth as some kind of prison planet? Yeah, I would say that. Since we are the observer, where do you think our consciousness originated from? It is the part of the fabric of the universe. It is part of existence. When I say universe, I'm not talking about the physical universe. I'm talking about the greater universe of awareness, of consciousness, energy, all of that stuff. Does feeling empty for no reason normal? Yeah, okay. Is feeling empty for no reason normal? I'm not a psychologist. I'm not a doctor. None of that stuff. Okay. Listen, if any of you guys has serious problems, you go check a doctor. Okay. That's what I'm saying. Go check with a professional doctor or something. Okay. Feeling empty for no reason, that could mean any number of things, you see. Happy birthday, and age is a state of mind. Okay, I'll try that. How to deal with these forces? Well, trying to evolve spiritually that are against us raising our level of consciousness. Well, you deal with them like somebody that doesn't want you to succeed, but you want to succeed anyways, You just do it. Continue doing it. A lot of this is discipline. A lot of this is really just doing what you need to do, even if you don't feel like it. Man, discipline is really, I mean, discipline is the key to a lot of things, You just do it. You just keep doing your work. You just keep doing your exercises. You keep doing your meditations, even if you don't feel like it. You keep consistently doing your spiritual practice. You see? Just do your practice. That's it. You get up in the morning, and then you do your routine, your meditation, your ritual, your communication with the spirit. You continue. You have picked a path working that you want to work through. You keep doing that. That's it. You see? That's it. Discipline is going to pull you through it. Who cares what people think? Who cares what entities want to do? You have free will, man. You have free will, you see? What's your favorite spirit to work with? I don't know, man. I don't have a favorite spirit. Not anymore. I'm 47 and still training. Yeah. Frank, what does it mean when I keep seeing the number 33 without my intention, not just on the clock, but everywhere? Oh, man. It means what it means to you. So, like, this is really the answer I can give you. What does it mean to you? What is the meaning that you give it? Do you know a spirit that is connected to the number 3? The spirit that you're working with, the spirit that you've contacted before? And now that spirit is showing up. Have you worked with Elegua maybe? Or something? Number 3, be important there. Hello, brother, and happy birthday. Since your work on and possession experience with Lucifer, have you noticed greater respect and gifts from entities? Yes, definitely. Has little to do with Lucifer, though. Has little to do with Lucifer. Okay, guys, I'm gonna wrap it up now. I feel the energy is not here anymore. Okay, so I'm gonna wrap it up. Like I said, I gave you a little glimpse into my system. I'm gonna keep this stream up, definitely. And how do I finish this? How do I end this? Well, okay, you should look for wisdom. Okay, when you go out into the world, and it doesn't matter how old you are, it doesn't matter where you're starting, because come on, I mean, at the end of the day, we're all students, right? Students that have done it longer than others sometimes, but we're all students. We're all learning. I'm learning every single day. Okay, but let me give you a couple of lessons that I've learned. It's this: you want to look for wisdom. Wisdom is not data. Wisdom is orientation. Okay, so when you study something, when you enter the world of books or something like that, okay, always do it with a purpose. Never pick a book up just because it looks nice, you know. And if you want to read fiction, okay, I mean, it's your time. It's your time. I would never read fiction, but okay. Anyways, figure out what goals you have, and then look for information that can help you get to those, get to that goal quicker. Okay, and on each stage, you will have an obstacle. Then you look for the information, maybe in a book, maybe somewhere else, that helps you overcome that obstacle. And that doesn't mean you have to read the entire book. Oftentimes, the most of the book is not even important. Okay, most of the book is just repeating the core statement of that book. Okay, but you can't sell a book that has 10 pages to it, right? So that's how you should use information. You don't consume it. You strategically and proactively acquire knowledge. Number two, you have to have a strategy to anything that you do. Okay, you have to have a strategy. See, the highest leverage thing in this universe is thought. Okay, the highest leverage thing is thought. Meaning, when you can get your thoughts right, when you are operating mentally at a higher level than somebody else, you already won. Okay, they're playing two-dimensional chess, you're playing three-dimensional chess. No chance. They got no chance because you can see more of the territory. Okay, so this is what strategy allows you to do. Strategies are they're maps for three-dimensional mental chess, so to speak. Okay, so you should study strategy to do that. Okay, and you might have noticed that I didn't mention anything about the occult yet. Well, because magic is easy, magic is simple. Okay, but thinking right, thinking correctly is hard. That's the hard part. That's when people mess up. Okay, what is stopping people from using their magical powers is often that they think in the wrong way about it. They have so many assumptions that they don't even know where to begin and where to start. Okay, learn to think correctly. Learn how to debug your mind. Okay, and then you use the basic practices of altering your state of consciousness, directing energy, and and raising energy. And boom, you're going to be able to work through any system. You're going to be able to do any spell. You're going to be able to do any occult operation. But what is stopping you are these ideas about things that are not correct. Okay, so you have the wrong maps in your mind. But I mean, that's my job. I'm debugging you. Okay, I'm gonna give you the superior maps that allow you to remove that stuff. One thing that I often hear from people is, Frank, after I listen to you, I feel so much more clarity. Okay, which is a good sign. Okay, truth is always simple. Okay, so if you listen to somebody and you're more confused after listening to them, specifically when it comes to an explanation. You ask somebody for an explanation, and they confuse you more with the explanation. That's not a good sign. You should always feel more clarity after you listen to the person, okay? And that's what you want. And I hope to provide that. And man, I hope I didn't catch Corona. I really hope I didn't catch Corona. Like I said, I told you in the beginning, I went to get some hot chocolate today, and I met a good friend of mine, and we got to talk, we got to chat. And she just came back from Bulgaria, and you know, we actually had a little thing going on some time ago. But anyways, she after talking for like 30-40 minutes, and at this distance, she tells me that she just had Corona and she's over it. So she said she's not what's that word, contagious anymore, but we'll see. Yeah, maybe maybe the virus is gonna get me, but we'll see. Never mind, forget about that. Fuck that. No virus is gonna mess with me. Anyways, okay. Hope you got something out of this, guys, and talk to you soon. Bye.